Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. This is going to be game number 4 here between DdoRo and KiLLeR. Right now KiLLeR is up 2-1. No, DdoRo is up 2-1 against KiLLeR, winning the first 2 games. DdoRo did end up losing last game though with a strong roach push from KiLLeR. Anyways, yes, this time game number 3 here on Xel'Naga Caverns. In the upper right position, here's DdoRo as our purple Protoss player, and down over here in the bottom left, KiLLeR as the yellow Zerg. So yes, last game we saw DdoRo going with a Forge Fast Expand, going into 3 Stargates early on, pushing out with Void Rays and Phoenixes. Now, initially, KiLLeR did not have enough anti-air to deal with this, was taking pretty heavy losses, but a strong Roach counterattack from KiLLeR proved to be damaging enough against DdoRo, and DdoRo again, going for that Forge Fast Expand. This really is not the map that you want to do it on. It's much more difficult to pull it off on this map, because look, you have to form a wall off this way towards the Nexus itself at your expansion. And then you have to guard this side as well, so that calls for some extra buildings over here, some pylon placement, getting a full wall off, and then at the very least you need 1 or 2 cannons over here. So much more difficult to pull off a Forge Fast Expand on this map compared to maps where your natural expansion just has one small kind of a ramp opening. Now back over here inside of DKiller's base, we can see we'll be going Extractor first, working his way into the pool. So what this is going to do for him is he will be getting some very fast speedlings this game. So here we go, there is the pool. And again, with the Extractor first, he's going to have 100 Vespian early on as soon as that pool finishes, and that will once more allow him to get that metabolic boost right away. We do see DdoRo going with a little bit of harass right here, trying to stop the mining from these workers. Again, only one guy can mine at a time, so if you spam mine on one of these, it slightly delays your opponent from being able to consistently mine. Now, you know, this is something you see at professional level of play, but, you know, the most standard games, you're not going to see a lot of this happen. It's definitely possible to try to pull this off, but just make sure you're on top of your macro if you're trying to do something like this as well. And like as we can see, DdoRo still's got his Forge coming through. He's going to get his Nexus in time. In fact, even that's a wee bit late. He could have been down there a little bit earlier to allow for that quicker Nexus. But anyways, that is neither here nor there. And look at this. This is exactly what I was talking about. You go for a Forge Fast Expand on this map, and you have to make a wall this way, and then like one on the back side as well. So it's just so much more difficult. We do have a cannon coming through as well right now, and then we should be seeing that gateway getting placed. Looks like that will be dropped right here, and then maybe the Cybernetics core goes over here, and then another cannon over here, and oh my gosh, it's such a headache to try to do on this map. And we will in fact have to see how KiLLeR responds to this and what he decides to do, given that Forge Fast Expand is coming out for DdoRo. Maybe a Roach Speedling push could do the trick. We'll have to see though what he ends up deciding. He could also just decide to macro up and try to pull things here into the late game. So DKilLeR now finally coming out with his expansion at about 21 supply. He has pulled all but one guy off of the gas right now, so he is still sitting on a little bit more Vespian mining, but most of them will be on that resource, the mineral patch right there, allowing him to get up that expansion quicker, some more droning up, and also those queens to go ahead and spread that creep and all of that jazz. There we go, 2 Zerglings chasing down, now just the 1 Zergling chasing down that probe. However, he does want to get this scouting. He needs to find a few things. He knows that Forge Fast Expand is up, but Kiwi-Kaki style, DKilLeR says. I love Kiwi-Kaki. I haven't casted Kiwi-Kaki game in a while, but anyways, yes, he knows this Forge Fast Expand is up, so he's going to be, DdoRo style, he's going to be aware just of where the cannon placement is. That's one of the big things. He wants to know where those cannons are to try to find a possible bust spot. Now, he's not going to actually be able to hit that Nexus with those Zerglings. Roaches, however, right over here would have that range to stay out of those cannons and still do damage to the Nexus. So again, we will have to wait and see what he does. And there we go, second queen pops out, drops that creep tumor, then heads on over. You do of course want to connect those 2 bases with that creep, allowing for a quicker defense of both of those with whatever ground units you are sitting with. We've got a second extractor coming on through. There we go, hatchery is up. Should be seeing some transfer of workers down sometime soon. And is this going to be another extractor? No, he's just going straight to mining, but just the 1 for now. And look at that, Speedlings catching that scouting probe just in time, stopping him from seeing much of anything at all, and I don't even know if he saw that creep or not. Oh, no, he did see the creep there right on the edge, so there you go. But anyways, he knew that was coming regardless. Not really much of a surprise. We've got those level 1 weapon upgrades coming out, starting with some sentry play. Sentries will be very necessary to help him defend early on. He needs to drop those force fields because he's going to be dealing with some pretty heavy pressure from KiLLeR, or at least he could possibly be dealing with some pretty heavy pressure, and that's something that he has to be wary of. Now look at that layer. It's not even 7 minutes, and that layer is just about to pop right now. He is back to heavy Vespian mining. In fact, he's got that 4th extractor coming through, and what is this going to be? Infestation Pit look at how fast KiLLeR coming out with those infestors. We've got 2 pylons being placed over here. This is to stop speedling run-bys from coming in this direction, or to stop speedlings from being able to retreat. If they say push onto this expansion and they try to retreat back here, this will prevent them from doing that and allow DdoRo's forces to catch up and do a bit more damage. I do expect to see another building placed back here eventually, probably just another gateway. Let's take a look at what's going on in the main. We have got 3 gates coming down right over here, and again, that level 1 upgrade coming on through as well. Infestation Pit has now popped. So KiLLeR, what are we going to be doing here? What's the plan? We've got pathogen glands coming out, getting those infestors that extra energy. You can see starting energy of infestors increased by 25. So they come out with 25 more energy, allowing them to drop those fungal growths right away, and that is absolutely fantastic. A couple spine crawlers getting placed down. I want to see exactly what this is going to be. Looks like we are sitting on a 6 gate push is what's going to be taking place here for DdoRo. We can see those level 1 upgrades are finished. Will he be going for 1-2? Yeah, no, 1-1. 1-1 will be coming out. Why would I say 1-2? 1 weapons, 1 armor, 6 gate push is what we will be seeing from DdoRo, and he's getting those air upgrades, but I see no Stargate. So what are you doing? What are you doing there, buddy? I'm guessing it's coming. There we go. 2 Stargates coming down, so we will be seeing a 6 gate plus 2 Stargate push. The 1-1 upgrades plus some Void Rays, I'm assuming, is what's going to be the case. Now, KiLLeR will be working down these rocks right here, allowing him to move into that high yield expansion. We've got 5 infestors popping out, burrow research coming out as well. Let's see if he's going to utilize those burrowed infestors. That could certainly be pretty hilarious and effective. Now, those infestors already popping, they've got the energy to lay some fungal growth down. This could actually be pretty frustrating for DdoRo if he tries to venture too closely. Now, not sure if he's actually going to bother. Yes, he will. He's not worried. I'm saying he's not worried about the fact that he's showing that infestors are in play. He's just going to take these free kills right here. And 1 more fungal growth. Is he going to do it? There it is. See you later. See you later. 2 more sentries alive, but those should be mopped up pretty quickly by these speedlings. Look at this. Look, he trapped his own sentries. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he was just protecting that one, realizing that he was going to lose those 2. That makes much more sense than what I said. We do have a probe checking down at this 3rd expansion. Now, again, keep in mind, we do have these 2 Stargates in play. Looks like it will be some Phoenix play that he will be coming out with. So we've got the 6 Stargate 1-1 push that will be coming out for those ground units, plus these Phoenixes. How effective is it going to be, given the fact that we've got a lot of infestors in play? It is going to come down to KiLLeR's effective defense of those infestors, meaning if you can just make sure that they do not get lifted up by that graviton beam. We do also have the Twilight Council coming up, so possibly some Blink Stalkers. It's a possibility. DdoRo getting ready to move into his 3rd as well. Not sure if he's planning this time and push though, because here comes some regression right now for KiLLeR. Move forward with those infestors plus those speedlings, and oh, there's the infested Terrans. You expect to see some fungal growth there as well, laying down right on those zealots plus that sentry. And this is going to prove to be a very strong push right now. Needs to be careful. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, burrowed infestors, but they're scouted out by that photon cannon. There we go. Those ones are protected. That one gets took out very, very quickly. We've got these 3 infestors. They're going to be heading back home. Speedlings. No, those aren't speedlings. These are just still some infested Terrans doing a little bit more damage. Now, he was using those infested Terrans to try to protect those infestors. Unfortunately, as you saw there, those infestors were attacking that photon cannon. Now, he did want to get rid of that also because he wanted to get rid of that the cloak detection there. So that may have been his intended target, but otherwise he could have used it against those infestors. And here we go. Should be seeing some more infested Terrans. Hey, fungal growth. There we go. Fungal growth going down on the Phoenix. There's the infested Terrans popping up, but oh no, 1 more fungal growth was necessary there. Too bad, he couldn't actually afford that. Had he had that extra fungal growth, he actually would have killed off about 3 or 4 of those. There was only 4 total there at the moment, but he would have killed off at least those 3, I'm assuming, there, and that would have been absolutely fantastic. I have pretty heavy Phoenix numbers moving across the map. We have got some Hydras coming out. The Carpus coming out as well for those Overlords, plus the Groove Spines, that range upgrade for those Hydras. Hydras will do very well against those Phoenixes, but only in large numbers. If they get caught 1, 2, 3 at a time, this amount of Phoenixes will take them out incredibly quickly. Looks like Charged Zealots is what's coming out of that Twilight Council as well, and look at this Econ Harass. We've got a lot of infestors moving down. Let's see those fungal growths get laid down. Absolutely beautiful. More fungal growths. And oh no, Phoenixes, you are gone. You are so very gone. Constant fungal growths. Plus here come the Hydras, and DdoRo loses all those Phoenixes and fungal growth OP. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is intense. That was fantastic for KiLLeR and very, very unfortunate for DdoRo. So DdoRo just lost a whole heap load of units there. Taking a look at the total resources lost, you can see DdoRo quite a bit behind. In fact, almost double the resources lost of what KiLLeR is currently sitting at. So KiLLeR in an absolutely phenomenal position right now. He's got more infestors coming into play. We'll be making a transition into a bit more roach heavy as well. That charge upgrade now finished for the Zealots. We also have that Templar archives coming out, so we could be seeing those Archons or maybe just going up for those Psionic Storm High Templars. That will be very effective as well. Feedback, keep in mind, feedback so strong against infestors, so needs to be careful. Neuroparasite is coming out as well for KiLLeR's infestors. KiLLeR sitting on the momentary supply block that does get alleviated. However, he just lost a whole bunch of supply because he's engaging over here. There's a big fight going on over at this expansion right there. Infestors moving down, plus those infested Terrans, and oh my gosh, the Zealot's getting absolutely laced up, but KiLLeR doing so much damage right now. His infestor's pretty low in energy. He's got enough for a few more fungal growths though. What is he going to do? Those Hydras tearing through. The DPS is so high, and right now dropping some infested Terrans as well. Burrow, there we go. Burrowing those infestors right there. KiLLeR doing a lot of damage. Infestors getting lifted up though. Why is he not burrowing them? Oh no. Oh, there's an observer right there. That's why. He would have just lost him anyways. And look at this, DdoRo coming back, killing off the infestors that killed off all of his phoenixes. He needs to stay away from those infested Terrans though. He almost lost that one as well. Looks like the rest of the Hydras do get mopped up, so a little bit of an engagement over there at that third expansion. Gonna take another look at the resources lost. It looks like DdoRo is still behind, but KiLLeR lost quite a bit over there as well. And again, those Phoenixes taking sweet revenge against those infestors. However, he stayed in that infested Terran fire a bit too long. We've got a very strong Roach and Speedling count right now for KiLLeR. So it looked like quite an imposing army, and actually, I'm not really sure. Oh, geez, I did not realize it was that bad, but DdoRo so far behind right now. 29 army supply as opposed to the 83 of KiLLeR. So KiLLeR, after taking out the units that were over here at this expansion, he's just in an absolutely amazing position right now. He's really primed to do a lot of damage. We've got a lot more infestors coming out. Let's take a look at the income tab right now. KiLLeR sitting at quite an advantage as well, having that high yield expansion, and this army is quite a bit, and I'm not sure that DdoRo is going to have enough to handle that. Lifting off those infestors, trying to kill them. Hydra is going to be doing some damage to those Phoenixes, but right now DdoRo doesn't care. He just wants to get rid of those infestors as much as possible. Now this is a strong push. Couple of those sentries going to delay this push from happening at this expansion with those force fields, but how long is that going to last? He doesn't have infinite energy right now. He did just warp in a few more units. Would like to see some fungal growth action at some point. We've got a couple more infestors coming down. Psystorm also just about finished. Do we have many High Templar in play right now? No, we've got zero High Templar in play right now, so he hasn't come out with any quite as of yet, and that's actually not the best of things because he needs to accumulate some energy before he's actually going to be able to drop those psionic storms. There we go. We've got a few coming in. There's 4 right now. A little bit wary of getting some fungal growth there on the high ground. We saw all of those probes pull off the line there for DdoRo. Got forces for DdoRo moving around over here. Those High Templar position right there. He does have an opportunity to push over here, though. KiLLeR could try to move into that expansion. The fact that he's preventing all this mining going down for DdoRo is absolutely huge in and of itself, though. And DdoRo really does need to do something because right now he's in a lot of trouble. Here comes a push right now. We'll be moving on into that natural expansion, completely bypassing the main force right now. They're going to catch him on the ramp. Here we go. Going to be seeing some storms go down. We do have a few infestors getting dropped, trying to pull away from those storms, keeping those infestors in the back right there. And the Roach is so durable, sticking through those storms and still doing a ton of damage right now. All of the High Templar are gone. We've got one Archon coming through, and the Roach is doing damage, target firing down that Immortal right now. And KiLLeR looking to be in a very strong position right now. He's not dealing with any counter aggression at all. Infestors still alive, dropping a few more infested Terrans, and there is DdoRo calling the GG. We are now tied up 2-2. DdoRo opened up this game with a Forge Fast expand, and instead of coming out with a quick third, we saw KiLLeR stick to 2 bases but tech up very hard for fast infestors. At 9:30, DdoRo moved out with a small force. However, he ran right into KiLLeR's infestors, and because of some fungal growth, took some pretty heavy damage to his early defense. From that Forge Fast expand, we saw DdoRo move into double Stargate for some early Phoenix harass, also sitting Gateway heavy, coming out with a Twilight Council as well. As KiLLeR was taking his third at the high yield expansion in the center of the map, he also pushed out with Speedling Infestor. With this, he was able to do a little bit of damage, didn't hit the economy too hard, but was able to kill off a lot of DdoRo's units. However, KiLLeR did also lose some Infestors in this engagement because of the Graviton Beam of these Phoenixes, plus that cannon doing a little bit of damage. We saw DdoRo counter with some Phoenix Harass, however, he then ran into fungal growth from all of these infestors, plus the Hydras coming down, and lost almost all of his Phoenixes. We then saw KiLLeR push out against the third here, going again with Speedling Infestor, but also coming down with a few Hydras. We're going to see those Infested Terrans get dropped down as well. Once more, he was able to do quite a bit of damage over here. However, the Phoenixes coming back for some revenge were able to take out a lot of these Infestors as well, especially with that Observer following along and getting those Burrowed Infestors lifted up by the Graviton Beams. With his high yield expansion intact, KiLLeR had an economic advantage over DdoRo, and he took advantage of that by pushing out and just out-muscling him with the amount of sheer force that he had, and eventually forced the GG from DdoRo. So there you go, guys. We are tied up right now 2-2 in this series. We'll be moving on to game number 5 in just one moment. That's going to be the final game of the series between DdoRo and KiLLeR. Hopefully you have enjoyed this thus far. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.